Welcome, RPG Limit Break fans, to the Final Fantasy Chaos Winter Carnival. My name is Fabian Hawk. Joining me in the booth today is Saracen with our tracker, Flower Power, and a restreamer, Demon Frog Zero. Chanigan versus Deadpuls yet again, Game 2. What do you like about this pack of characters, Saracen?
I like the fact that it's the same because they're gonna have a good time with this. Um, Deadpool's just going right back in and double checking his party selection here. So you get to see the blurses on these fabulous classes as they come up. Fighter Thief White Black is what we saw out of Chanigan as likely a commit. Just to kind of give people a little bit of a view into what's going on here, we have a Forced Fighter and Forced Black Mage. Fighter with plus 10 strength equipped shirt, minus 10 agility. That is a very useful fighter because it's just going to get slapped into the second slot, and the Thief will be up front with a billion agility, and it'll help us with our first strikes. Um, the Thief, plus 20 vitality, plus 25 agility, minus 1 MDef per level. Put a ribbon on it, it's fine. Black belt, if we see it, we're not going to see it. They're not going to take that. Red mage starts with fast, starts with legendary swords, cannot learn fade. White mage can equip shield, starts with exit, and has minus 15 HP. And the black mage, again forced, plus 10% hit, plus 1 MP for every level of spell, so they'll start with 1 MP everywhere, but minus 10 luck. A little bit of a rough run chance there. I emphatically agree with these parties. I could have seen Rainbow as an option as well. Just, put 3 mages behind the fighter. Fade's going to come up early because the red mage can't learn it. That means it would have been learnable. What about you, Thavian?
Honestly, I'm right with you on the idea of going or fighter rainbow, but based on how these racers ran last night, seeing them go double melee, double caster totally suits their playstyle, and the blursings across the board are good enough to take it either way. So I'm not going to say they made any bad choices with these picks.
Yeah, now the real question is where are we going to see the spells that matter for the end game? And I mean, part of that is Fade, part of that is Nuke. We know Fade is going to be pretty early-ish because of the Red Mage restriction on that. But, where's our Fast? Where's our Temper? Where's our Nuke? What are the tools that we're going to have to deal with the Seed early on? So, gonna be very interesting to see how that plays out. And then, of course, what swords are there and how did they roll?
This is very true. They saw a lot of rolled up gear last match. This day, it could be completely flipped on its head. We don't know until we see it, and we're looking forward to it.
If you didn't watch last night's game 1, it was a barn burner. These two runners were within 50 seconds of each other getting into Topher. Looks like we have a slight desync, perhaps, but we'll be getting both of our runners off. Level 1 White Magic. Trash. It's tragic. Cake, Brack, Ice 2. Ice 2, I guess. Brack, I guess. Cake if you're a Dengwu fan.
Cake is never a horrible thing to have. Pro rings, just flat for 8,700 in the armory, not bad to remember.
Plus 4 wood armor is legit decent armor. You see Chanigan already getting out the gate here.
And the Zeus Bonk as our caster item.
So I like the Zeus Bonk. Generally speaking, I would have, in this particular instance, preferred to see the black shirt, just because the fighter could equip it.
Very true. That equips shirt blursing, just like the shield blursing that we have on one of our characters, the White Mage, lets you equip some late game equipment to characters that might not normally be able to use it.
And especially early on, having a free black shirt equip is super strong. It's a very powerful piece of armor, giving you resistance to ice and time, I believe. Time doesn't come up a whole heck of a lot. It's glare and zap mostly, but still very useful to just have that. Chanigan kind of getting the business from the monsters here and deciding to reset out. Had to take a second bit of a walk. Katana -1 and a little
That
chunk of change
validate,
up there.
yeah, that validates the thief pick immediately. Deadpool's first on to Garland. So I almost said Ganon. It was like Zelda on the brain. Deadpool's just waiting for the bats.
They'll drive you batty.
That's the ruby out of the king, and the princess has the key. So we've got the treasury and the treasure already. What is in the treasury vault?
This feels suspiciously like last night, because didn't we have the key from one of these royals last night too?
I'm fairly certain we did, and I've seen ruby and key or a combination very often in these flags. Sun +2, excellent sword.
Very much so. That's a great early find. And a rod.
Well, that's some variance as far as incentive items are gathered, so not just the same seed by any means. I can almost certainly say, at least at this point, there's nothing pointing our racers to the early ice dive that they tried last night.
Well, we can hope. Chanigan's still not putting that thief up front, and I'm very curious about that decision.
He made the same. I believe he made the same decision throughout last night's race as well.
Yeah, he only put the thief up front last night when he was going into bosses and he wanted an ablative meat shield. So I'm a little curious there. I mean, you're putting your absorb tank up front. I get that, but with 105 starting agility, your thief is going to be helping you with ambushes for the entire seed.
Very much, and if you don't get to manipulate through a lot of overworld encounters, just avoiding getting trapped by random encounters is extra helpful.
Yeah. All right, Deadpool's giving us our check at level 2. Hey, it's Fade. And Heal 2 and Fog 2. I mean, Fog 2 is not something he's going to pick up. There's a crystal from Bicky. And there's Nuke. All right, so Red Mage would have been extremely viable here, knowing that, these two spells are both right here, but we're 4.5 minutes late on that knowledge to do anything about it.
I don't think they're going to be too unhappy with it, because they've got high quality sweepers for both of their main casters either way.
It's true. Kit Marcus pointing out 500G houses. That is super nice. That's like 1960s housing market.
That's cheaper than last night. They had like 900 last night.
Yeah, 500 gold houses is almost to the point where you just buy houses and nothing else. These
Maybe
chain +3 is
early.
also good.
Yeah, that's a superb set of armor. It can be put on many characters for good effect.
Well, only one character in this party, but
Yeah, they didn't go with the Red Mage.
It's okay.
Looks like Deadpool's taking the quick jaunt up to Matoya to get the crystal turned in. I forgot they had the crystal. That makes total sense.
There's a white shirt that you could theoretically put on that fighter. I think the chain is almost the same absorb. And you get the herb from Matoya. Chanigan making the same play.
Well, we're definitely not taking the Crescent Lake turn-in / ice dive early route, because this is very much go left, my son.
Or you know what? So here's the thing. Like, you can go either route, but there's nothing really pulling you left, right? Like, you could stop by Dwarf Armory and maybe stop at Marsh on the way or something like that. So we're seeing the runners
Keylock and Toph and then Dwarf Armory would be good checks this early to stay away from the water. But yeah, splitting, Deadpool's going back towards the waterway as Chanigan goes left.
I think the thought process here, starting with exit, is potentially you could do the ice play. I don't know if he's going to. I certainly got burned last night trying it, but you have the tools to do it if you so desire. He does not desire. He's going for Crescent Lake. But
he's somewhat traumatized by the toxic wraiths.
Yeah, it was a bad time. Chanigan headed directly to Marsh. I like it.
Already have exit, already have sweepers with levels to get there.
You don't have a lot of charges of those sweepers, but if you bought a house, you're covered for that. That's a floater.
Not that cheap, but it's right next to the desert, so and there's plenty of grind options available off this reasonably short run. And life 2 there in level 6 white as well.
So, all right, Deadpool's getting the ship, which, knowing that the oh, he ran out of exit charges and he found that out trying to leave Crescent. Oof. But getting the ship now isn't bad. Like, it's gonna dock itself at Elf. You know it's not super important. Or he's
looking
considering
at that Zeus
his
fog.
options. Well, I think he was looking at his options. Like, he's got stuff he could sell theoretically. I mean, if you really wanted to sell a katana, you could sell a katana. But knowing that you don't have the tools to do the job, right? Like, you don't actually have enough money to get that floater yet.
Sleep fishes. Yay.
It's okay. We microwave them, and it's fine. Getting the tail out of Marsh, which is very nice to get.
The moment he hits the gold and finds that floater, or if he pulls the can... Okay, Deadpuls is going volcano. He wants to dive that armory, get the gold, and get the floater.
I 100% respect that play. And, check a couple spike tiles in the process because you could find a high value spike tile in there. Yeah, I like it.
As we get that red tea. That's actually a pretty dang good thing to find, depending on how thick it is. We get the check on Chanigan for the herb is the crown.
The Yakety Sax continues. Last night there was, like a 5-part chain that involved the herb?
Indeed. That was Ice 3 and Saber in level 3 black, and then we have Exit in level 3 white.
Yep, that's actually kind of nice because running out of those level 8 slots is pretty easy, and forgetting to house in between or stop at an inn.
Well,
level
that's
4
a huge
white
chunk.
was trash.
That was over 10,000 out of a box here in the armory, so that 33,000 is looking a little more gettable for Deadpols.
Mage Stick, also very helpful. And a Thor Hammer. There's an eye tile. Oh.
Deadpols
baby.
is in happy mode currently.
Not now. Oh, no. Oh, please let us finish this eye. Trance start is real scary on an eye, and I would actually go back to the red D. I don't trust that eye anymore.
I like this move. Exit out and save and go.
Yeah. I didn't see what his gold total was, but oof. Yeah, probably pretty close.
He's over 20,000, I believe, because there were several multi-thousand chests, plus the one that was over 11,000.
Yeah, so
he could sell that hammer and that mage stick and probably have the gold.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly where that lands.
Oh, never mind. He's got 52,000 gold.
Oh.
This is paid off as Astos for Chanigan.
Goat's Pirate calling for the sale of the opal anyway.
Was that a Vorpal? Vorpal -1.
Rough. That is not a thing I want to see here at this point. What's nice though is that the Vorpal coming this early kind of tells you that there's important things out there. Now, here's a bit of a conundrum. We know that Ship and Canal have to be in the Circle C. Deadpuls will find out with this crown that either marsh or ice is required. Ish. It's in that it's not the canal. Because he knows where the ship is. He's already got it. So he's going to have to pick one to do. He's probably going to pick marsh because ice is a terrible dungeon. Nobody likes it, and it smells bad.
Well, for the moment, he's taking the proximity play over check magic and saving Melman, and probably get Sarda and Titans taken care of.
Yeah, so I think he's going to at least consider, which of these do I want/need to hit, and we'll have to see exactly what the magic situation shakes out to be and other things, but you can't equip a Vorpal or a Katana without promoting, and so that's a big deal. Chanigan's only like a couple thousand short on that. He sells the Pro Cape, and I think he's like there.
Indeed, he is.
No, he's 170 short.
He can get that somehow.
I'm sure. TNT from our Hermit, which really tells you don't trust Hermits with explosives. That
normally...
Vorpal is Gonzo.
Oh yeah, that he already has a katana. He already has a sun sword +2 for the knight or fighter. He doesn't really need the Vorpal necessarily. So,
All Life 2 and Cure 4 at level 6. That's a big level for the White Mage.
I missed the Cure 4, but yeah. That is interesting. Deadpuls, I mean, he doesn't have the tail because he didn't do Marsh, so he's just going Earth. He knows where the next good grind is in Volcano, so he's not even bothered checking the Titan's Tunnel, or the Hall of Giants.
I respect this play as a means of getting intermediate levels. And, it's a dungeon you can complete at low level. You have the tools with Nuke and Fade. It's fine, right? The Chanigan going straight for promotion. Gotta respect it. But, I mean, you think about the play that Deadpuls is making, really, it's just saying, I want to get a dungeon out of the way, and I want to potentially get a couple levels in the process. And as long as nothing super scary is here, it'll be fine.
Well, heat sucks, but at least it's not the cremate the mages had in Astos' closet.
I will say it's kind of funny committing to a heal 2 against the Fade when you have so few level 2 charges.
Adamant, we got Heal Helm, we got high-end shields, we got a lot of things coming out of this very wealthy, or relatively speaking, wealthy horde behind Bahamut. There was a Flame Shield and an Opal Shield, I believe, came out box after box.
And another Pro Ring, which, that's like 9k saved.
This has not been a poverty seed. Not really. It's like Chanigan heading up to do the Sarda and Titans check.
Yep. Makes complete sense, and he's therefore going to be able to hit both the dwarf turn-ins at the same time.
Deadpool's definitely in get the go mode. He's not checked. He checked the Asher chest. I think is the only chest he's checked so far in this dive. He might. I don't know if he checked the vampire's locker or not.
It would surprise me if he skipped the Better Trap Treasure, the room before Vampire, but yeah, I mean that because it's just right there.
Hey, it's the black belt that won't pick up.
Yeah. That black belt is definitely going to sit there for Deadpuls's side. I see zero interest in him taking that. And Chanigan already having promoted, would need to equip it. Oh! He took it. He replaced the fighter.
Okay, well, just for note, that's plus 40 hit point, plus equips gauntlets and helm, and then negative 10 vitality. It's not the greatest as far as a black belt.
You know what, though? Let's think about this logically.
He knows the eye tile and the red D, both of them.
I'm more interested in the red D after seeing the trance. And Oxyale tells him he just needs to find a loot, and he's got his dungeons, so that's big.
He's not promoted. He hasn't found the tail. He knows where some of the best grind possibilities are. He's taking this cheeky check to get that the adamant that was behind Bahamut to actually here in Cardia Forest, so he can get that check and get the slab.
Chanigan's going to check the Hall of Giants real quick. Images.
This divergence is real on both sides. I don't think either of them made any mistakes whatsoever. This is just two different games or routes playing out.
Yeah, and I understand the play here. And actually, this is potentially really good because I don't know if our runners have checked level 5 magic specifically, but like in levels 1 through 4, we haven't seen either faster temper. That's concerning because once you're talking levels 5 and up, you're talking about spell slot restrictions being a major concern, especially if they roll at the same level. Well, the Black Mage does have the +1 magic, but ugh.
Deadpuls definitely stopped in here to save before he went to Sarda, but you're right, he didn't check magic, and neither is Chanigan.
There's an element of not liking to check magic above level 4 that is, kind of prominent because you just don't get the spell slots. It's not on the first screen of spells. Like, a lot of runners, myself included, don't like magic above level 4. So it doesn't surprise me. Deadpuls is probably going to check it in Lefane because he's going to turn in that slab right now.
That is very true, and he's getting just a random stake on the way to Lefane. He's taking that.
Yeah, we take those.
Not so much the Frost Wolves, but actually it looks like he's taking those too. He has nukes.
Looked like that was an opal gauntlet out of the Better Trap treasure chest prior to Vampire, so not really anything you care about. Yeah, with those Frost Wolves, it's just enough experience to, want it. So, there's a ribbon.
That is very good to see. Get that on the White Caster as soon as possible. Maybe move it to the Thief later.
Harm 4, Invis 2, and Ruse, all at level 5. There's the knowledge about all of the level 6 stuff. Now, the downside is that Life 2 is not learnable pre-promotion for the White Mage.
That's a downfall of coming here before getting promoted, is you can see all the magic, more or less, but you can't get all the magic.
Well, the follow-on question is if Deadpuls promotes. Because he would have to go to Marsh to find the tail, and he's got a black belt. And that black belt is just going to be taken to the moon in Volcano.
Okay, so just what we've seen, we now know level 8 Gaia has fast stop and temper.
Yup. Well, level 7 or 8. Because they're both exclusive shops. But yeah, it's Gaia. Chanigan skipping over the black belt, so this will be the divergence of the seed that matters most, I think. And it all comes down to Deadpuls needing the money from Volcano. Like, that had to be the decision point, right?
Yep.
Oh, hey, free blue steak.
He's getting free dinosaurs all the way up and down.
The real bonus here would be if that T-Rex kills the thief right here and right now.
Almost.
Not quite. He tried.
Chanigan going Volcano, checking chests, finding that red D. Is most likely going to find a good chunk of money and a eye any moment now.
Yeah.
Deadpols buying some heal pots, saving, and probably just going to go ahead and get hard onto that grind as soon as he can.
Sure enough. And I think he's going to take the red D just because trance is scary. I mean, you might switch to it eventually, but, it's not worth it. The red D seems safer.
I have to agree. I like this move. He's putting the ribbon on it to start. Oh, wait, what?
Oh, he is gonna
Oh,
take the eye.
yeah. If you go down to the Agma floor, the spike tile in the first room of the Agma floor is that same spike tile in the armory, and it is a no off tile encounter location, so it's a safer grind.
And this is also going to give him the time to walk over the lava tiles to reduce his party's HP, which is going to make it easier for him to kill off the characters he doesn't want to have in the grind.
It is just a solid play.
Now it's potentially scary. Trance is status element as a flag is not turned on for this flag set, so a little scary.
It looks like Chanigan is popping armor. Well, I guess he was just dropping armor. Never mind. For a second, I thought Chanigan was go for that grind too.
I wouldn't hate it if Chanigan did a little bit of a grind, but he doesn't have the same motivation to do it as Deadpuls does. That was a Roost Stick +5. That's real nice to see.
Now that's interesting. Chanigan hasn't healed up his party, so he might just be getting some stuff and then go back for the grind.
No,
Oh, never mind.
He just wasn't bothering. Now that White Mage is out of Fade charges, I'm concerned. Because, he's got to actually, cross the bridge of combat, so to speak, when it comes to dealing with carry. And, yeah, not having Fade charges on the White Mage is a pretty important barrier for his party. Oh, look,
Deadpols
Gargoyles.
Switching for a different encounter to try and dan off his party. And the Gargoyles are doing their job.
2 so far. Now they're switching to the wrong target, which is the real problem. 3 in a row to the Black Belt slot 4.
And we have a Snake Lady for Chanigan.
Yep. Harm 4 and Nuke. We got something to do here.
Harm 4 with the Harm All flag is pretty much a Fade Light, so it's not a bad option. Can't crit, though.
So, here's the other thing about this eye that is a problem. Carrie's supposed to be a Merilith, which is a variety of D&D demon, I believe. But anyway, this eye has like 270 or so hit points. It's a very thick eye. And yeah, this black belt doesn't quite have the punching power yet. And we're just sort of counting on the trance not landing and holding us up on this grind. Please, Gargoyles, do the thing.
Now he's running into that very nice blessing of agility.
Yes. The fighter wasn't bad, right? But the thief with plus 20 vitality is effectively a fighter. Now, 105 starting agility because of the plus 25 agility blurs. That makes it a little bit more dodgy than usual.
That trance did not land, but it was a first cast. As Chanigan is in Lefane picking up that incentivized ribbon, and Promoted is going to get all the magic that he can. He's got over 100,000 gold to spend.
So, funny thing on Chanigan's, on Deadpulse's side, is he, put the ribbon onto the black belt, and then this eye casts Exfer, and it keeps landing. And it's not like a big deal. There's nothing to follow it up that we've seen, but like, the one thing that could negate the ribbon is right there.
It's just hilarious is what it is. Chanigan stocking up his ninja with some nice black magic. That's Saber, so if he doesn't find the power bonk.
Yeah, and I think this is potentially part of the Deadpuls calculus. Now, hey, look, the trance landed.
Now, how many
Oh,
turns will the stun lock occur? That's Fire 3. We didn't see that before.
yeah. You see, you get a lot more turns to see that when the
And
trance lands.
Ruse.
Now, the worst part about the trance is I'm pretty convinced like there's a fixed percentage chance that you get out of your stun. But I feel like you get locked into RNG loops more easily when you're tranced because you don't have inputs. Because yeah, you see those stuns last for days.
True. The fact that it's a single character stun does actually help with this because there are fewer interactions, so the cycles occur faster, which is probably the saving grace of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Less time spent losing, and there's Fast and Temper level 8.
Ew.
At least they have a one black cat or level 8 cast immediately for both casters.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna come out and say it right away. I think the waterfall play is better than the ordeals play this seed because we already have our Oxio and we have tools to beat Kraken.
I have to agree with you, more or less just like what happened last night's race, where they both faded ordeals. I'm
Now,
shocked that he's going here.
you know what though? I don't hate it. Like, it's not a bad play. It's just it's not the one that I would do for sure. And I mean, Chanigan's still putting on a blistering pace here, right? Like, there's no doubt about it. He's pushing hard. He's got 2 orbs lit. He's just looking for the loot. But, you know, he has a 50-50 more or less of, is this going to be the chime or the loot? And one of those could be the bottle leading to, right? Like, it's not a big deal, but yeah.
This is very true. That Chanigan is on as good, if not better, pace in many respects as he was last night. And this is a race that ended in under 45 minutes and was like one level away from both racers finishing at that. So I am so on the edge of the seat to see what he pulls out here. By the time he pulls out what he's getting here, we're going to see a 40+ punch machine going down to beat a Kraken or a carry. So
I don't know why he's going all the way up, because he does have stuff he's going to have to kill, like, in the rest of the seed. So, like, he's going to pick up those other levels very easily. But yeah.
now, is he going to remember to take the ribbon off?
I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, he could leave the black belt equipped and it's fine. It just gives you a couple extra pieces of protection, you know. Brack is still a thing that has a chance to land on 42 that's greater than 3 and 256.
Very true, and Chanigan does pull the bottle out of ordeals.
So, indeterminate.
And one thing to note, as he's in man mode, punch the snake lady, Deadpuls is not going into the upper left room to get that ruse stick.
Oh, he doesn't care. 42 black belt don't care. ADR pointing out the BB absorb, and yes, it is true that the absorb is down a bit, but I mean, he's also wearing the opal -3, which is 28 absorb. Oh, we get the loot. Okay, so justified play. The seed tells us that Chanigan was right.
Yep, that means the canal is in ice and the cube is in waterfall, and Chanigan does not need either.
Yup. All right, we are moving the opal and the ribbon down to hope, which again makes complete sense. Chanigan restocking in on-rack and about to go kill himself a fish monster.
And Deadpuls likely go. I wouldn't doubt Deadpuls is going to go waterfall into sea with the load that he has. Would you go Ordeals from here, or would you go Waterfall Sea?
I absolutely would have gone Waterfall Sea.
And
No
he
question.
seems to be.
Yeah, and so it's it's one of those situations where like you're gambling on it because of the proximity. You want a one dip on rack, and you had to go there anyway. You don't have a cube. You're not doing sky, so like there's a degree of just you kind of have to, right? In Deadpul's position, you sort of have to. When Chanigan was there, he was flying from Gaia. He could just stop over at the on-rack landing or at the Ordeal's landing position and go.
I don't blame either racer for the chosen solutions, and I agree. Deadpul's most logical choice was this choice right here.
Yep. So it is what it is, and we're gonna see how it plays out. The magic situation being what it is a little tragic, which I mean we've kind of known for a while, but these runners are going to have to decide exactly how they handle that. And while Deadpul's answer is, "I'm just going to punch harder." Okay, thanks. And you have to really wonder how is Chanigan going to handle that, because Fast and Temper being at level 8 is a real issue.
Having a katana doesn't work as well when you don't have the ability to take extra swings and buff, but just that much more.
Right. Which, funny enough, really justifies that red mage with the starting fast. But again, we didn't know that at the start of the seed.
So Deadpool pulled the cube and just said, "I'm out. I don't want to check any more boxes. I don't need to check any more boxes." Exited out and went to sea. So I understand. He's not going to stop for anything at this point.
Yeah. Now, here's the conundrum for Deadpulse. He still doesn't know that Marsh is the tail. He knows that either Marsh or Ice is dead, but he doesn't know that they're both dead to him.
That is very true. I did not remember. I totally forgot he had not pulled that tail yet. So it's technically a shorter hop toward Deals, I'd say, or maybe equidistant, because he has to run back. So a Marsh or Deals from here is the most logical plays, I'd say. I doubt he'll go Ice.
Yeah, I don't think he has Warp either. Warp being a level 5 spell. Maybe he has it on the Black Mage, because it was in a learnable slot. But it's Ice is, a little bit more dangerous and a little bit slower of a dungeon.
Channon's going Topher at this point. He's gonna probably check the Toph locks, and then if anything, he's just gonna save and go. If he realizes he needs more levels, he's probably just gonna go Toph grind. He knows where that eye tile is, where that red dragon tile is, if he wants to go all the way to Volcano to do it. But I could imagine with the encounters the way they are, he's gonna go just Toph grind at most. As
I think
Deadpulse punches a squid.
I think Chanigan is just going to go. I don't think he's going to try to grind. Black shirt +5. Wow.
That's a sweet armor upgrade.
Yeah, it is. You know what the funniest part is? That it's actually also an armor upgrade for the knight, who is able to equip shirts. Do you know how frequently I remember that in my own seeds? Never.
And we have our answer. Deadpulse going for Ordeals. So this is the right play, and he doesn't know it, but this is huge.
Yeah, it is his favorite dungeon. He's breaking his own house rule, by the way. This is how serious he's taking this race against Chanigan. He always kills Sarias. That's his thing. And so to run away from the Saria, hey, Vanilla Phantom. is just a little tragic, almost. House
Chanigan
sees some money.
Yeah, Chanigan must feel he could benefit from a bit more gear just checking those chests. They're not the hardest thing, slowest things to check, but on a first dive, when feeling like he's in a hurry, I can imagine fading those at least the first dive.
Yeah. Demon Frog calling out, Chanigan has one chance to get this. Maybe two if it's a quick wipe. Yup. This, with Deadpols, seemingly magically pulling the right play here. And not falling for marsh, not falling for ice. This, I guess, he's still looking at effectively a 50-50, but he's just guaranteeing that it's a 50-50 that's favorable. All right, we got a Lich 2. We're fading, we're nuking, we're swinging. I mean, we do. That counts for a lot. We've got a Sunsword +2. That counts for something.
Very true.
We're on to carry 2. That was indeed the rug we expected. Okay, on to carry 2.
Neither of our races took the time to check the hint bats, so we don't know what's going to happen here.
Deadpulse gets his good news on a good decision made. Tornado coming out of carry 2, which is very dangerous.
That is one thing to very much note, is that Chanigan's party is very nuke threat. Very low health. Vulnerable, that's what I'm trying to say. 3906 for Deadpuls. This is a faster Topher or almost as fast a Topher as last night for him.
Yeah,
even
but
faster for Chanigan.
for Deadpulse, it was a little bit delayed compared to Chanigan getting in there, but he's got a 42 black belt. This is just gonna fly by.
And so far, from what we've seen from Chanigan's run into Topher, the encounters have not been that spicy.
Well, I mean, we're dealing with the annoyance that we knew was going to happen of, oh god, the lobsters have heal too. Why do they have heal too? But, beyond that, we were a little threatened by that carry 2. That carry 2 could have taken out characters.
Very much so. Chanigan, another very annoying encounter. Oh, he got away. Good.
There's like that heart sink moment when you see them come up, and you're just like, is this the end of my run? Is this what I'm losing to?
Chanigan taking no chances. He has the Roost stick up. He's got Invis 2 from the White Mage.
So ironically, that is still a big chance because we just saw what happened. Unfortunate start there to this fight with both of the melees being taken out. So we're kind of just dependent on nukes and fades and hopes and dreams.
I mean, there's a flat thing on Deadpool's side and some flattened melee characters on Chanigan's side. Chanigan's definitely not having the good of it.
Okay, that's a scary moment that just happened there. In that there was a tentacle that connected. Fade for 240. That's a good progress. All right, the fish monster's down. You know what else is down? Both of Deadpulse's mages and carry 2.
I think Deadpulse isn't sad about that.
Nope, he doesn't care.
That's just the weight shed. His big melee monsters can get things done faster with less baggage.
Well, I mean, that thief doesn't count for a whole heck of a lot because it's still just a thief. But at least it's, doing something for him.
Yeah, he gave the thief the ribbon. Finally got that off the black belt. As Chanigan is trying to cast down his Tia.
Oh. Did he not get life too? Oh no, he must have gotten it, but I missed what happened. Rip.
A wipe.
That's real sad. What is our adjustment? Because we are making an adjustment. We're checking spikes. Nope, we're going for the black belts.
That is bold. He knows it's there.
So, if I'm Chanigan, he knows it's there, and he also probably doesn't think Deadpuls took it. Much like I didn't think Deadpuls was going to take it.
Probably the only reason he did take it is he wasn't promoted, and he knew where the grind to go was, be it that red dragon or the eye he ended up taking for it. So
I think it is mostly the grind. The promotion thing would have been less of a concern.
he would have just kept the ribbon on it if he found the ribbon and went with that. So yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to check with him after this race, but there's always a chance that Chaos just says, nope, you're not big enough, and just kills him. So
6 hits, 451 out of this 42 black belt. That's concerning. 6 hits, 420. Blaze it. Six hits, 290 to terminate Tia 2. Ooh.
that absorb, Tia could probably not move under those thick scales.
Yeah. I believe the technical term for that is thick with 2 Qs. All right, on to Chaos. It's looking pretty good for Deadpuls at this point. 6 hits, 293. It's looking less good for Deadpuls at this point. This is also a very thick Chaos. Currently not doing anything though, so at least there's that. Toby down to a knee at 44 hit points. Nest continuing to get invis stacks from the white shirt. Chaos just seems a little punchy, and that's it.
This is a very slow burner of a fight, but
yeah, this might be a doesn't like spells hint on the Chaos. The Thief goes down, but we've got invis stacks for days. And GG Deadpuls finishing off Chaos. Our official racetime.gg time, 44 minutes, 43 seconds. Hokey smokes.
And almost immediately, and almost immediately Chanigan went ahead and forfeited, understandably so.
Yep. I mean, all right, we are joined.
Chanigan.
Hey, Chanigan. GG.
God damn it. I almost picked the black belt. When I found it, I'm like, do I replace the knight? I should have done it. If I knew Fast and Tepper were both level 8, I would have picked it 100%.
So that was a thing I think it was a really hard decision at character creation what the reasonable party would be, because that thief looked great. The fighter looked all right. The red mage gave you the information that the white mage was going to get fade, and it's like, well, it's got free fast. Like, how do you turn that down? So I would have said, maybe fighter rainbow as a start. I think you both went with the fighter thief black white. It's really hard to know, and then you get to the black belt, and you had a very different set of knowledge getting in there too.
Yeah, I had no knowledge. Like, I was level 10, I think, when I did the first orb at 15 something minutes, 20 tops.
And we've got Deadpuls in here. Deadpuls GG.
Oh, hello, friends. GG Chanigan.
GG's Deadpuls.
So let's talk about the chief knowledge difference, and it's that Deadpuls went right from the crystal instead of left, and therefore had to get money from the volcano.
Mm.
So Deadpuls, is that basically the story of the seed right there? You found grind tiles, and you're like, oh hey, there's a black belt in Earth, huh?
Yeah, as soon as I wanted to turn in and see if I could find the Vorpal, because if the Vorpal rolled, +5, I wasn't gonna take a black belt if it appeared. But then I saw it was -1. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm right by Earth. I might as well do it. And Providence happened. Oh, black belt right there. I know there's an eye tile. I'm gonna go do it.
Did you have any thoughts about the red D over the eye just because of the trance?
I did once I got hit with the trance. Does that count?
I mean, the trance came out in your initial dive through of the armory, and only the white mage avoided it.
Yeah, you know what? We're in the round of 8. I don't have time to play it safe. I gotta go for the gold here. But yeah, if you notice, I did uh, take the levels up until 21 so that I could have a better chance of killing the eye in one turn, so that trance was less likely.
Mm-hmm. I did definitely notice that. So I gotta ask, the big thing, this is the challenge for me here, is I was trying to get into the Deadpool's head as we were looking for the loot. So you go to Waterfall and you find the cube, and you're down to, there's a canal stuck in either marsh or ice. There's a tail, there's a bottle, and there's a loot. And you picked Ordeals, which was the right play. But what was the mindset going into that?
Ordeals provides. I felt bad not going last game. No, it's a 50-50 up in marsh and ice with the canal. I also didn't grab warp, and that was really what did it. Had I grabbed warp when I was buying all of my spells, I might have thought, okay, you know what? Let's go up and do Marsh quick. It's only a 45-second drop. At that point, I can go do Ice Cave. That's about the same amount of time it takes to do Ordeals. But since I didn't have Warp, and I was already up by Ordeals, what the heck?
Similar question for Chanigan here is, you were in Gaia. You had the option of go to Waterfall and see, or go to Ordeals. What was your decision there?
Ordeals provides. Nah, I don't know. I just felt Ordeals add something. That's
right.
it. It's a 50-50. You gotta take it.
I hear you.
My question for both of you, starting Deadpulse, I guess, why go right versus left at the start once you got that crystal turning?
The idea was I wanted the free item, and it was about the same distance in between the two of them. I could take the river system, get a couple of levels as I was going down if I find some good fights, like some Caribs or Caribbees, whichever you want to say. Get the free item, which turned out to be the ship. Had the floater not been for sale there, that would have been an instant, go in, turn the herb, and then go and turn do marsh if that wasn't the canal.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see where you head in the rest of the tournament, as you are going to be heading Deadpulse into the winner of Pickles and Beer versus Ale. Their game 2 coming up in like 10 minutes. It's exciting, I think. What are your thoughts on that potential matchup?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I want to take on Ale Martin because I never have before, and I think that would just be fun. I also want to take on Pickles and Beer because he beat me in the finals of SGL Online. I want a little revenge.
So what I'm hearing is you want to take them both? Is this going to turn into some sort of bloody three-way race?
You know what? If Ale wins tonight and then they tie round 3, I'm just going to be like, all 3 of us, let's go.
Chanigan, this is the end of your winter tournament, but I think you put on good showing through the entire tournament here, and even the matchups tonight and last night were great. How do you feel about your performance, and what do you think about the rest of the tournament?
I'm pretty happy. Top 8 is still pretty good for me, I think. I did well pretty much all tournament. Give it in my all. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Means I can play more Mystic Quest now. And I finally can go back to Mystic Quest. Been a few changes I want to play, so. But yeah, no, the whole tournament was very fun. Yeah, no, good luck at Deadpuls. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. That was fun.
Well, I think with that, we should probably get to some final thoughts here so we can get rated over to the next race. Deadpulse our victor tonight, and moving on to the round of 4. What you got, sir?
Well, thanks everyone for here, and Chanigan, I'm sorry we had to meet in the round of 8. You were, and I'm saying this, you were the scariest person in this tournament. You beat me to Topher twice, and that gives me pause because that's my thing. I like to go fast and get to Topher first. And the fact that you did it back-to-back races makes me think I need to practice a whole lot more if I'm going to make it all the way to the end. But thank you very much for the races. It was a blast. Luck was on my side there, and nothing you can do about it.
All right, Chanigan. Final thoughts.
For real, GG's Deadpools. I think you were the scariest runner. You might be the scariest runner in this tournament. Maybe with Ale. Ale is also very, very good. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy overall. That was a good race, and yeah, that's about it. GG's again, and have fun for the rest of the tournament.
Davey and Hawk, co-coms here. Final thoughts, sir.
You two are both probably the fastest racers I've seen all tournament. You've finished 2 consecutive races in under 45 minutes. You are mad lads.
All right. Well, with that, if you like what you saw, you should come hang out with us. Head over to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Click on the Join the Discord link on the page, and you'll be able to hang out with us good people and catch every race that we have in the winter tournament and beyond. Just pick up the spectator role in the role request channel, and you'll get an alert every time we put up a race announcement. If you're interested in learning the game, we've got the Duckling Bootcamp coming up just a month away. The end of March, we'll be starting that, and that's me and Luffy DV teaching you how to play the randomizer. 6 weeks, 12 courses, going through several different types of configurations, flag sets for the randomizer, and we'll teach you how to play, how to race, how to do a couple other things as well. If you are interested in the racing outside of that, in addition, we have the Duckling Derby as a follow-up to the boot camp, which is a race specifically for newer runners to the community. You don't have big vets coming to bully in the times. But with that, I think we're probably going to be raiding over to that race between Pickles and Beer and Ale that's going to be starting very shortly. I've been Saracen, again, joined in the booth by Thavian Hawk. We've had Flower Power doing the tracking and Demon Frog on the restream. I want to say GG's to our runners, and thank you for coming and watching, everybody. With that, have a good night.